Hey guys and gals, this is Cal from Dirty Weasel. Over the last few months, I've talked about the updated Mod Organizer 2.1 from its development to its re-release last month, but I have not done any tutorials. Well, that is changing as of right now. If you're wondering about the basics of updating or about a brand new installation, I'll give you my recommendations and a few tips to get you through the process. It's been a few months without making a video, so I may be a bit rusty, but let's get started and head over to the desktop. Alright, we got some work to do. It's been a while since I've done one of these modding videos, so let's talk about what we're going to start with. And we're going to actually take a look at the old 2.0.8.3 for Mod Organizer, and that's actually in my common. And you can see it's Steam Apps Common, and you have Special Edition, all this other stuff in here, but that's where my Mod Organizer 2.0.8.3 is. So anyways, take a look. And we just go ahead and open it up. Now you can see I have the dark profile. Normally I like white, but I thought this would be good for demonstration purposes. And you can see I only have the survival mode as an available mod because I remember when I downloaded that from the Creation Club, I was able to create it into a mod of its own. So you can activate it and it doesn't show anything over here. That's how you know it's an old one because it doesn't recognize an ESL. And you can see I've got all my applications I've already checked and gone through and make sure they all run. And that's just how it looks. So what you want to do for upgrading? Well, there's going to be a couple of options. There's going to be the automatic way, and there's going to be the manual way if the automatic way doesn't work. Let's just go ahead and make this easy and put that up there so we know what we're all looking at. This is Skyrim Special Edition. You see right up here in the upper right-hand corner, you actually have an update available. What happens when you do the automatic update? Well, it's going to download a bunch of new files. It's going to download all the new executables, all the DLL proxies, all that good stuff. It's also going to carry over all of your profiles, all of your mod settings, all your any settings, and hopefully it all works right. We're going to try this first. I've already gone through and worked it out a couple, 3 or 4 times to make sure it all works, but just in case you don't, our next step will be do a manual install, and you'll see that as well. But let's go ahead and click the automatic update. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a safety step. In our common files, we are going to make a copy of Mod Organizer 2. So you just go ahead and copy it and paste it in. This is just a safety thing. We're going to actually modify. We're going to close this Mod Organizer down, and we are going to modify this one. So let's open it back up and run Mod Organizer 2. This is the copy version, but we can go ahead and rename it later. And it should show all the same stuff. Yeah, and my downloads are in here. Everything's in here. So we're going to actually modify this version, which is my copy version. Let's go ahead and update it. Changelog, install. Okay, we got our first setup screen. So set up to Mod Organizer 2.1.1 setup. Important, read all of this stuff and click next. And we want to go ahead and agree. And we're going to install all these things. Just go ahead and let it do it. Handle Nexus links. It's already converting your ini files over, so you don't have to worry about handling Nexus links. It'll already have your ini file updated. Go ahead and click next. Now, this is the first thing we're going to change. We're going to change where it actually uploads to. So we want to click Browse, and we want to go back and find where we had Mod Organizer 2 copy. Let's see, mine is on my PC. And it's on my games drive. And it's under Steam. Let's find Steam Apps. Common. Mod Organizer 2 copy. Okay, this is the one we want to choose. We're not making a new folder. We're just going to be updating the copy version just to make sure it all works right. Click OK. And you want to install. And it's going to go through and install a bunch of new stuff. And it's going to include some MSVC redistributables. We'll talk more about that when we do a new install and converting things over. But for right now, just let it do its thing. It is finished. Go ahead and click OK to run it and hit finish. Failed to refresh the list of ESPs, invalid map. Don't worry about that. That's because the survival mode is there and it didn't know the correct mapping for that mod. Click OK. And we're going to minimize that down. So we are now can see we are now version 2.1.1. Now, the first thing I want to test, does it recognize survival mode? Failed to refresh list of ESPs, invalid map. That's okay because it's recognizing something that it doesn't really know what to do with. So, because it's not ever made to actually download that the way I did it. But it does work. Let's see if we have all of our downloads. Yeah, it has all my downloads. So it actually configured the file directories correctly. So let's go ahead and check our executables, SKSC. You know, the first thing I'm going to do, you can see it in black. I can't see this that well. So let's go ahead and change that to our general. And we're going to go back to my none. That's a lot easier on my eyes. So you can see we also have some things up here. These are the DLCs that are in the correct order. So let's move that down. So you want actually Dawnguard, Hearthfires, Dragonborn, then Survival Mode. We come back to our plugins, and it now recognizes those in the correct order, so you don't need to run loot. Now, CDQDRSSE, this is survival mode.esl. This is recognized as a light plugin. So don't worry about that too much. I don't even run it. I just have it around, and I didn't want to lose it. So I'm going to keep that. Let's do a quick test. I already have SKSE 64 installed. Let's go and run it, make sure it all runs correctly. All right, and there we are. That was quick. Let's go ahead and my tilde key and put in get SKSE version, enter. So it is version 2.0.6, release XD IDX 55 runtime, blah, blah, blah. So it knows it's working correctly. I don't need to do anything else with that. Let's quit out. So it all runs fine. Let's go ahead and test our first download. Let's just find unofficial Skyrim special edition patch, manual. Yeah, it looks good. Because what I want to do is make sure that loot, SSE edit, all those things are running correctly. And this is the best way to do it, is just install your first mod, check it that it's in there, and we are going to run loot. Okay, it recognizes unofficial Skyrim special edition patch. Curious, let's check that one and run loot again. And sure enough, it recognizes the survival mode.esl file. So it recognizes that correctly. We know that loot will connect up. If you check SSE edit, you can see they're all there. So you know it's recognizing it correctly. Why is that important? Well, remember where we installed this? We installed it in our common. There is a very common problem that when you install it into the special edition, it may not recognize loot, SSE edit, all these different functions may not recognize the mods that you've installed in Mod Organizer 2, even though they are recognized by running the game. So don't ask me why it happens, but it is a known problem. And the simplest solution is to just go ahead and leave it where it is, leave it in common, and it won't have any problems. There are some workarounds that I found for a new install that kind of appeared to make it go away, but I'm not really sure why that happened. But that was the problem I was having before. So let's do it anyways. We now have a copy that is working correctly for Skyrim Special Edition with Mod Organizer 2 2.1.1. Let's go ahead and rename it. We want to rename that. Let's just make it MO2 2.1 SSE. So that's our new folder. There we go. I want to fix this so I can actually read it correctly. Why do I rename it SSE? It'll make sense when we talk about Fallout 4. Do you want to get rid of the old MO2 2.0.8.3? Not until you are completely and 100% sure that this new one for 2.1.1 works. It's not taking up that much file size, but just something to keep in mind. So like I said, you've now got all these goodies installed and you've gone through and you check to make sure everything works. What you want to do, go ahead and place that shortcut on your desktop, just so you know what it is. And you want to rename that to MO2 SSE. Now you can also go ahead and change it to your properties and change your icon if you wanted. You can browse it and go back into common, special edition. Go pick that one. Sure, why not? Press OK and apply. So there it is. So MO2 SSE, I can rename that again if I wanted to be perfectly anal about it. There you go. I have a portable installation of Mod Organizer 2 for Skyrim Special Edition. And I have it on my desktop. So every time I go ahead and click it on my desktop, of course, it'll open a brand new version. And it'll go directly to Skyrim Special Edition with all of its applicable mods and whatever else. Okay, now on to part 2, which is basically a manual installation. You've tried the automatic installation and it hasn't worked. You're having problems. Something's not working right. Or you may not have a Mod Organizer 2 that you have manually installed before or have one that you need to upgrade from. Let's go ahead and manually install it. So we're going to actually refer to the Mod Organizer 2 page. And you scroll down and you want to actually get the files. And this is all new things. So let's go Files. Mod Organizer 2. And you can see it's mod number 6194. The link will be in the description, of course. And you want to manually download the standalone version. This is the newest one from December of 27th of 2017. And it's version 2.1.1. Manually download that. And you can see we'll get into the instructions for that a little bit later. But let's go ahead and check that I have it. I do. And there it is right there. Go back and check your description. There are some things that you should know about this for doing a manual install. And you scroll down and you have the installation. You have the installer, which is basically the upgrader. That's what we just showed you. And then you have manual. There's a couple things to see here. Often ideal for portable installations where you may be having more than 2 games being run on it. And in this instance that you'll be seeing Skyrim Special Edition and Fallout 4. The Mod Organizer 2 2.1 will run Fallout New Vegas. It will run Fallout 3. It will run original Skyrim, Legendary Edition. But the recommendation from me is going to be that there is no benefit to using Mod Organizer 2 for those games, those 32-bit games. Mod Organizer 1 works perfectly well. It actually has more features than Mod Organizer 2, but the operations are essentially the same. There is no benefit to using Mod Organizer 2 for anything other than Skyrim Special Edition and Fallout 4. Okay, let's get back to manual installation. So there are a couple things you can do. We're going to manually extract it out. I'll show you that. But there are a couple things that they want you to install that may not be included in your native files that will help it run better. And one of those is the visualstudio.com, and there's a link for it right here. You can see me flashing on it. And they recommend that you install both the 32 and 64-bit versions of the 2017 redistributable. Let's go to that page. And you see this Visual Studio downloads, and you want to scroll all the way to the bottom. Not these. We're looking for the redistributable. Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable for Visual Studio 2017. And these are the ones we're talking about. So each time you want to get one, this is 64-bit and this is 32-bit. You see the 64-bit is click first. You can click download and it will download that one. Then you click the other one. Once that one's done, come on and click download that one. So you're going to get 2. You're going to get 64-bit and 32-bit, or x64 and x86. I already have them on my desktop. I've already downloaded and run each one, but it doesn't make a difference. It's not a big deal. Just go ahead and click the first one first, 32-bit, which is x86. You can either repair or install if you've previously installed it. If you have it, it will tell you this message. If you do not have it, it will tell you to install it. I obviously have it, but I just wanted to show you it's very simple. And there's no setup to it. It'll just automatically handle it. Are you sure you want to cancel? Yes. And the same thing goes with this one. You can either repair or install because I already have the most recent update. Is there any benefit to not installing these? No, not really. But it will definitely make sure your Mod Organizer 2.1 runs correctly. So that's my quick note on that. Go over the manual instructions again. From here, simply extract Mod Organizer 2 anywhere you'd like. But I already discussed the fact that for whatever reason, sometimes throws problems, and in my case, it used to. You can try this. You can either put it into your Special Edition folder or avoid the issue all together and install it inside of your common files, and everything will work properly. Common's where I also keep all my tools. So I'm actually going to delete my old one that was the update. And we are going to do something with this. We are going to move one over and make a copy. And this is kind of important. Make a copy into your Skyrim Special Edition Common, or you can put one into Special Edition. Doesn't make a difference. We're going to show you the example for inside of Common. And the first thing you want to do is the mod author, Le Presidente, recommends that you right-click on the archive. Notice we've not unpacked it yet. Right-click on the archive. Properties. And at the very bottom, you'll see Unblock. And Windows 10 sometimes dislike things that Mod Organizer 2 has inside of it. But we can disable the security by clicking Unblock. And we're going to apply it and press OK. Now we can go ahead and unpack it using WinRAR, 7Z, whatever you want to do, and extract files to Mod Organizer 2 standalone version. We now have a new one. You can see this is the file folder from Mod Organizer 2 standalone version, the most recent one, version 2.1.1. Open that up. And you can see the Mod Organizer 2 executable. We can go ahead and double click this. And you're going to be listed with two options. Now, this is my recommendation. This is not the only way to do it. If you click New Instance, it's going to put all the files inside of app data, which in my opinion is a pain in the ass. If you click Portable, it becomes a portable installation self-contained in the file folder that you left it. In this case, everything will be contained in Mod Organizer 2 inside of Common. It will not be in Skyrim Special Edition. That's why you'll have to rename it. In my case, I think that everyone should be using Portable. My opinion, that's not gospel. Portable. And I'll give you a choice of two games. Because this is in Common, you can either install it for one of the two 64-bit games. I actually installed Fallout 4, ran it once so that Mod Organizer 2 would recognize it, and I also have Skyrim Special Edition. In this case, I'm going to use Skyrim Special Edition for Mod Organizer 2 to manage. Click OK. Are you starting Mod Organizer 2 for the first time? Do you want to show a tutorial? No, I really don't. But if you're not sure with Mod Organizer 2, you can go ahead and show the tutorial. I'm going to take this opportunity to recommend Michael from Gamer Poets and his excellent series of Mod Organizer 1 tutorial videos on how to use it, how to set it up, all that good stuff. But we're just going to skip past that. If you're a new user, go see those videos. I don't need the help tutorials, plus no. All right, and we have our first open up and see everything is set up here. Let's go ahead and expand this out a little bit. All right, we have a proto Mod Organizer 2.1.1 right up there. So this is the latest version. You can see it's automatically recognized as KSE. It's already recognized that I have loot. Let's go ahead and run loot just to see what it does. There we go. Seems to be working just fine. And let's go ahead. And one of the things you'll notice is that the survival mode is gone. All my downloads are gone. That's because I have not properly configured all the executables, all those other things to work correctly. But it did auto-recognize the creation kit, and it auto-recognize loot, and auto-recognize SKSE. So you're all set and ready to go. That's the basic setup. Now, if you want to import all of your settings, all your mods from a previous version of Mod Organizer 2.0.8.3 manually, this is how you do it. Go back into where you kept, don't want that one, and kept your original version of Mod Organizer 2, and this is version 2.0.8.3. You can see because it's all the old dates, and you're going to want four things. You're going to want mods, you're going to want profiles, style sheets, and you're also going to want the Mod Organizer 2.ini. You know, I just control-click each four of those. I'm going to copy them, go back into Common. I'm going to close Mod Organizer 2 for right now. Go back to Common, and we have our new standalone version. This is our new version of Mod Organizer 2.1.1. And we're going to paste those files in. Let's going to say there are 3 files with the same names. Yes, replace those files in that instance. Now we can go ahead and restart Mod Organizer 2.1.1. And boom, we are now all set up. You can see all of our executables are back. All of my downloads are back. That means that all of my directories are going to the same place. And I have all of my profiles right there. And you can see it's changed to black, so you know it all works correctly. That's it. Now, you've correctly updated to the new version. Obviously, if we want to use this for Fallout 4, we need to do a couple things. I need to rename Mod Organizer 2 standalone version to something a little more sensical. Let's just go ahead and put 2_1 SSE. That's the way I know that everything contained in this is for Mod Organizer 2.1 for SSE. If I want to do it again for Fallout 4, you want to unpack it again. Because remember, we already clicked the box that says, unblock, so we don't have to do it again. And we can now rename it this 2_1 for FO4. So now I have 2. Same thing as before. Run our Mod Organizer 2 executable. Same thing as before, a portable. And in this case, we want to select Fallout 4. No, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to see any tutorials. Thank you very much. And there you go. You can see the setup is completely for Fallout 4. Like I said, you can do it with a instanced installation. Basically, it'll drop everything into your app data, and then you can go ahead and change the game through the game selection dialog in the upper left-hand corner, and you can run it all through just one desktop icon, open it up, and manage all your games through that. But I think for simplicity's sake, I think it's better to have 2 and just run the games separately through portable instances rather than running through the app data, because quite frankly, getting into the app data files is a pain in my butt. And I don't like doing it that way. I'd rather have just one icon for each one and not worry about it. And I can go ahead and open up my Skyrim Special Edition files, find my Mod Organizer 2 for either the FO4 or SSE, and it doesn't make a difference. Okay, that's just how I do things. And that's it for this video. I don't know how long this run. It's been a while since I've done some videos, but we'll start getting into more mods. We will start touching on things like SKSE64. We'll start working on some specialty mods, and I'll start working on a new playlist or mod list to try and put together my Skyrim Special Edition game again. Now that we've got SKSE64, things have opened up greatly. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. It's good to be back and doing some tutorials on a cold, wintry day. My name's Cal. I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.